No money down real estate deals. They're easy to understand why they're not easy. Hello everyone, Peter Billigus here for the Peter Billigus channel, where we sometimes, make finance fun. Today we are talking about no money down and low money down real estate deals. Are they possible? Can you do them? And if so, how? Well, the short answer is low money down and no money down real estate deals are possible. And in a moment, I will offer 4 strategies on how to do them. However, it is important to understand what's really going on when people claim to have done no money down and low money down real estate deals. Often these gurus aren't lying, they're just not telling you everything. So have I ever done a low money down deal? Have I ever done a no money down deal? The answer to both is yes. But what exactly is a no money down real estate deal? What exactly is a low money down real estate deal? Well, whether you are buying a house, a condo, a piece of land, or a commercial piece of property, if you are getting a loan from the bank will typically only loan you 80% of the value of the property. So if you are buying a $250,000 condo, the bank would loan you $200,000 and the bank would ask you to contribute $50,000 as a down payment. That $50,000 down payment is the bank's protection if you fail to pay the loan. The bank would sell the property and they have a $50,000 cushion just in case prices drop. So technically, a low money down deal is a real estate deal where you, the buyer, put down less than 20% as a down payment. But my personal definition of a low money down deal is anytime you put down less than 10% of the property's value. And let's keep in mind, even if you put down 10%, well, 10% of $250,000 is $25,000, which is still a lot of money to come up with. When we think about low money down real estate deals, forget about what my definition is. What matters is your definition. It comes down to what is an amount of money that you can reasonably come up with quickly. $3,000? $5,000? Whatever that amount of money is, that is your low money down real estate deal. So what's a no money down real estate deal? Well, just like it sounds, a no money down deal is when you purchase a piece of real estate without putting in a dime of your own money. The question is, are they possible? Well, yes, they are possible, but it is important to understand the context when people claim they have done no money down deals. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, there was a boom in no money down deals. Commercials were on television claiming that you too could buy real estate with no money down. But it's important to remember what existed at the time. Number one, banking laws were different. There used to be something known as an assumable mortgage. The assumable mortgage works just like it sounds. You simply take over the loan payments from the seller. Assumable mortgages were one way to do a low money or even no money down real estate deal. But the important thing to remember is that these days, assumable mortgages are very hard to find. They used to be somewhat common, but not so much anymore. So that strategy is not likely to help. Another strategy that became popular, way too popular, in the 2000s was something known as the 80-20 loan. The 80-20 loan was actually 2 loans. Since no bank wants to loan you more than 80% of the value of your property, this strategy simply split the loans between 2 banks. Bank number 1 would loan you 80% of the value of the property. Bank number 2 would loan you 20% of the value of the property. Bank number 1 had what is known as a first place mortgage on the property, and bank number 2 naturally had the second place mortgage. Now what this means is that if you fail to make the loan payments on either loan and the bank repossessed the property, bank number 1 would get all of its money back first before bank number 2 got a dime. Not a dime, that's a rubber chicken buried in the sand. Now this strategy pretty much went away when the housing market crashed in 2007 and 2008, but it reinforces the point that what used to work may not work today. We also need to remember that real estate is an extremely local investment. That's one of its advantages. It can be easier or hard depending on where you live. I've invested in real estate where I live, but if you were to transplant me to Manhattan, I would be lost. So where you live matters in real estate. In some areas of the United States, it's easier to find a low money down or even no money down deal, and in other areas, it's harder. And of course, there is the question of when. If you had a lot of cash in 1987, well, you could pick up a lot of low money down or even no money down real estate deals. If you had a lot of cash in 2008, you could have picked up a lot of deals as well. One or two of these deals at the right time would change everything for you. So just a footnote that when you see someone say they've done a bunch of low money down or no money down deals, remember that the time, the place, and the banking rules of the day all matter. All right, enough backstory. Here are 4 ways to buy a property with no money or low money down. Number 1, use a government-backed loan. While some no money down strategies like the assumable mortgage have gone away, there are still some government loan programs that you might qualify for. Currently, both the Department of Veterans Affairs and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are offering no money down loans. For the VA, obviously you need to be serving or have served in the military. But for the Department of Agriculture, this does not mean the loan has to be used to buy a farm. What it means is that anyone could theoretically buy a property with no money down, but it must be in an area that the USDA is trying to stimulate economically. Also, the Federal Housing Authority, or FHA, has programs for low money down buyers. Check out these websites right here. Your local housing authority may also have grant money to help you buy a house. Yes, that's right, free money to help you buy a house. These websites might be of service. All of these sites can help you to find government programs for no money down or low money down deals. Strategy number 2, make use of seller financing. Seller financing is not easy to find because many sellers think it is a hassle, but it can be a way for a seller to sell their property for more than the asking price. Let's break this down. The word finance means to pay for. So when I say I have bank financing, what I mean is the bank is going to provide me the money to buy the property, and over time, I'm going to pay the bank. Seller obviously means the person who owns the property. So when we combine those words, when we say seller financing, what we mean is that the seller is going to provide the money to purchase the property. Rather than get a bank loan and pay the bank back over time, I'm going to borrow money for the seller and pay the seller back over time. Now, if I'm trying to buy a $200,000 house from the seller is not going to give me a check for $200,000 to buy their own house. Instead, the seller is going to give me a loan and a mortgage using their equity or ownership of the house. Remember, equity is the cash value of a seller's ownership. They're not going to loan me the cash, they're going to loan me their cash value, aka their equity. In a seller financing deal, the seller is going to give me a loan and they're going to have me sign a document called a mortgage. A mortgage is a legal contract that ties the property to the loan. The seller will sell me the property and it will be legally mine, but if I don't pay the loan, the mortgage allows the seller to repossess the property from me. Seller financing works best if the seller has a large percentage of equity in their property, and ideally if they own the home with no debt at all. Remember, many sellers think the idea of seller financing is a hassle, but seller financing can be a way for a seller to sell their property for more than their asking price. You can offer full price, plus the seller makes money off the loan payments. Now, for the past 20 years, seller financing has kind of been in decline simply because interest rates have been so low. When the cost of borrowing money is so cheap, people borrow more money. They don't rush to pay off their homes. But now that interest rates have gone up, you're going to see fewer people take money out of their homes using products like home equity lines of credit or HELOCs. When people stop taking money out of their homes and just pay the loan they currently have, their equity in the home will rise. And speaking of equity rising, it has risen over the last 20 years. According to the real estate research firm Adam, in 2022, about 45% of homes in the United States are considered equity rich, which means that the loan balance on the home was 50% or less of the market value. So I do see seller financing becoming more popular. Strategy number 3, use partners. Here's the obvious thing about no money down or low money down real estate deals. Often with real estate, you have to put some money down, but nobody said it needs to be your money. Let's pretend you find a property where you need to put $20,000 down. Well, that's a lot of money. But if you bring in a partner, then you only need to come up with $10,000. Still a lot of money. 3 partners, $6,666, and 4 partners, $5,000. Partners not only can share the down payment, they can share in the maintenance costs and upkeep of the property. One worry that people have when buying real estate, and it is a legitimate worry, is what if you buy the house and then a few months after you own it, you discover something big needs to be fixed? You need a new septic system, a new roof, or a new water main. Those are all expensive things to replace. People tell me, Peter, I am worried if I buy a property, there's going to be some big expense that I need to fix, and I'm going to lose everything and have nothing to show for my efforts except a tattoo across my chest that reads, if Dudley has 2 bedrooms and Harry was in the cupboard under the stairs, then the Dursleys must have been horrifically short of storage space. Well, if this is your worry, partners can help ease the concern about unexpected repairs. Partners can also help you get better bank financing because there would be multiple incomes used to support the loan. And if you want to be a real estate investor, partners can also assist in the hardest part, which is finding the right property in the first place. For many people, at least starting out, real estate is the side hustle. Finding the right property can take a lot of time, and your time is worth money. It can help if more than one person is looking. And strategy number 4, don't buy the property, option it. Many people already know that options exist in the stock market. An option is simply a financial instrument that gives you the right to buy or sell another financial instrument for a specific price on or before a specific date. Options allow you to control a larger investment for very little money. Rather than buy Apple stock for a few $100s per share, I can buy a few hundred options for only a few dollars per share. I don't own Apple stock. I own the right to buy or sell Apple stock at a predetermined price before a predetermined date. If the price of Apple stock moves in the right direction, my option to buy or sell Apple will be worth some money. Now, I can use that option to buy the Apple stock, or I can just sell the option. I can sell the right to buy the stock. So in short, options allow you to control an investment with a small amount of money. Options are possible in the world of real estate. Imagine someone is selling their property for $200,000. You could say to the seller, I don't want to buy your property for $200,000. I want to buy the right to buy your property for $200,000. I will pay you $500 per month for the right to buy your property anytime in the next 2 years for $200,000. The seller gets to lock in their price, plus they get an extra $500 per month. So they are actually selling their property for more than the asking price. Now you have to pay full price, but only if you want to, and you don't have to put any money down until you are ready. You simply have to come up with $500 per month to control the property. Optioning property works very well in these 2 circumstances. Number 1, if you are trying to change the property. Suppose you option a property on 2 acres of land. The seller wants $300,000. But you know that if you can build a house on the 2nd acre of land, the property would be a lot more valuable. So you would say to the seller, I would like to buy the option to buy your property for $300,000 anytime over the next 3 years, and I will pay you $500 a month for that right. However, your offer is subject to the seller working with you to apply for the permits to build a house on the 2nd acre of land. Once the permits are obtained, the property is a lot more valuable. If you can do this, you can either buy the property, build the house, and then sell it, or you can simply sell the option. If you see a property that could be more than what it is, an option might be a good way to approach it. Options also work for properties that aren't even listed for sale. Remember, every property is for sale, it's just a question of price. Some people want to sell, just not right now, and they might be interested in getting some monthly income from an option. I've worked on option deals that take years, and to be honest, a lot of these deals just fall through. They never happened. But because the cost to control the property was so cheap, they can be a great way to put your toe in the water. By the way, you can combine these strategies. You can option a property and then bring in a partner or partners. You did all the legwork and they bring all the cash. Now, are there other ways to buy a property with no money down? Yes, there are, but here are 4 ways to get you started. Government loans, be sure to check out these websites. Seller financing, using partners, and finally, optioning a property. If you were there when President Lincoln was assassinated, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to this channel. And if there's a question you want me to answer, please let me know in the comments section below. I'm Peter Billigus. Thanks for watching.